good morning, greetings and salutations, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you might be. Man, oh man, what a day. What a day. Crazy, crazy stuff. Zach, good morning. Good to see you. Great intro. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's crazy. Good morning, JW. Glad to see you this morning. Hello, Tammy. Zach. Zach, the intro is awesome. JD, howdy, won't be long. I'm waiting to go back for your MRI. Well, good luck. I really, seriously, good luck on this. And JD fan, howdy, y'all. Good to see you. Good to see you. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. For the latest in sports highlights, check out Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. It's good to see you. Brenda, good morning, all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. JD fan. Shitty. Yes, it is me. It is I. It is me. I'm here again. What a day. Oh my gosh. The hits just keep on coming. Everybody knows what happened last night because I'm sure it was all over the news everywhere. Trump will try to turn his guilty verdict into campaign fuel. Who says he hasn't already? I mean, these people are so silly. It's almost like they don't get it. That I don't know. I find it comical that they're so concerned with the focus. The focus this whole time has been on Trump. Trump, 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 Trump. He has gotten nothing but press over this. Why do you think he does the wacky stuff he does? Talks the way that he does, degrades people the way that he does. Oh my God, he's such a horrible person because he puts his name out there and everybody knows who he is. He has become more relevant than Joe Biden and the left. All of their, what is it, pro or anti-Gaza? I don't know. Their war in the Middle East. He's become more known because of all of this crazy stuff that's happening to him. Exactly. The money he saves on advertisement is unreal. It's such a tough morning. Nothing I had to save, so I had to have some JD infused coffee. Oof, that's rough. That's rough. Yes, it makes Democrats look desperate. Exactly. Exactly. It has been doing that. It has been doing that. It's been making them look very, very, very desperate and they've got nothing. They've got nothing. Oh, okay. So you found him guilty of 34 counts. You know what'll happen next? He'll appeal it. That's it. He'll appeal. What, you think they're going to throw him in jail? Oh yeah, they're going to jail him up. Uh, sure. Just like, I mean, and the reason that it's so hilarious is because I pull up the AP and it was what really found it so interesting, and we'll go through this part real quick because it's just like being convicted of felony, let alone 34 of them, is a kind of blow that would normally tank any politician's ambitions, unless it was a political hack job. It's crazy. T-Rex, how you doing? Howdy, hey, hi, folks. How you doing? T-Rex, good to see you this morning. Hope you're having a good morning. In jail with Secret Service? Yeah, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. As much as they like to just go on the attack with him, it is one of those that just not going to work well for them. It really is not going to work well for them at all. As much as they like it to, it just gives them, it doesn't give them much good standing. And as hard as I try to explain this is Trump will return to the campaign trail Friday with a news conference at his namesake Tower Manhattan in Manhattan a day after he was convicted of trying to illegally influence the 2016. How was he trying to influence the election? Tell me. And she is all. This is the thing. They they found him guilty of something that he had no idea about. Somebody else did. Somebody else did this stuff, or supposedly did this stuff, and they're a convicted felon. I guarantee you, whenever they go and appeal this, they're going to say, well, we weren't allowed to bring this in because the judge squashed that. We weren't allowed to bring this in, which would have proven my innocence. Weren't allowed to pull this in. It's just, it's just the way that it goes. When is his sentencing? July 11th, just days before the Republicans are set to pick Trump as a 2024 nominee, unless he appeals. Then it stops everything. No former president or presumptive party nominee has ever faced a felony conviction in the U.S. In the U.S., we've had plenty of politicians that have been arrested and jailed, and yeah, plenty of other countries. It's like the Babylon Bee says, we're not a democracy. We're a banana republic democracy. That's what it is. Hey, Volstorm, what is up, brother? Good to see you this morning. Like he keeps his own books. Yeah, yeah. That is exactly it. There's nobody who is more defiant, says Trump spokesman Jason Miller on Fox News Hour after the verdict was read. He's ready to get out there and start fighting again. Yeah, because now he doesn't have to sit in court. And it's Trump and his campaign have been preparing for a guilty verdict for days, even as they held out hope for a hung jury. On Tuesday, Trump railed that not even Mother Teresa, who is the nun and saint. I don't know. Was she a saint? I mean, I get what does it take to be a saint? Smart man. Yeah, very smart man. You already have a new job lined up to start the Monday 2 weeks from now. Oh, cool. Very cool. I love it. That is a great thing. So you quit your job last night, locked the keys to the truck in the cab, and left it in the company yard. They don't know I quit yet. I'll tell them when I'm out of state and your Greyhound is delayed. Whoa. Oh, what was going on, T-Rex? Why did you quit your job? Was it that they were just working you too hard or expected too much from you? I don't know. That's weird. I guess that's okay. I don't know. But I'm glad you got a new job lined up. Start the Monday 2 weeks from now. That's good. That's good. I like to hear that. Andrew Jackson went on the run after a duel. Burr became vice president after Hamilton. Mm-hmm. Trump is expected to keep his legal troubles central to his campaign. Why not? It's free advertising. There's nobody who is more defiant. Trump and his campaign have been preparing. Of course, we know that. His top aides on Wednesday released a memo in which they insisted a verdict would have no impact on the election, whether Trump was convicted or acquitted. The news, nonetheless, landed with a jolt. Oh, for who? Trump has spent the hours before the verdict was announced sequestered in the private courtroom where he spent breaks throughout the trial, huddled with his attorneys and campaign aides, eating from a revolving lunch menu of McDonald's pizza and subs. As the jury was deciding his fate, he filled his time making calls, firing off social media missives, and chatting with friends, including developer Steve Witkoff, who joined him in court. The North Dakota governor, Doug Burgum, who is considered the top vice presidential contender, and a sign that they expected deliberations to continue, Trump's holding room was outfitted with a television. Thursday, according to two familiar people with setup who, like others, spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss the case. Instead, Merchan announced that the verdict had been reached. 30 minutes later, Trump listened as the jury delivered a guilty verdict on every count. Trump sat stone-faced while the verdict was read, and then he went on about his life. His campaign fired off a flurry of fundraising appeals, and GOP allies rallied to his side. On one text message, called him a political prisoner. True, even though he hasn't found yet if he will be sentenced to prison. No, he's that. The stupidity of these people. You just don't have to be in jail to be a political prisoner. I mean, your hands are tied while you've got a judge that's going to fine you every time that you speak out on this. Age reported immediate rush of contributions so intense that when read, the platform the campaign uses for fundraising crashed. Yeah. Trump campaign spokesman Brian Hughes cited the outpouring as a sign that Americans have seen that this sham trial is the political interference that Biden and the Democrats have always intended. November 5th, he said, echoing Trump, is the day Americans will deliver the real verdict. Absolutely. Trump has long complained that the trial limited his campaign appearances for several weeks. I want to campaign, he told reporters Thursday morning before a verdict was reached. It is unclear, however, how much Trump's schedule will ramp up in the days ahead. He held only a handful of public campaign events as the trial unfolded, despite the fact that he had Wednesdays as well as evenings and weekends to do what he wished. He set in the upcoming 2 months to have his first debate with Biden, announce a running mate, and formally accept his party's nomination at the Republican National Convention. But before he goes to Milwaukee for the RNC, Trump will have to return to court on July 11th for sentencing. He could face penalties ranging from a fine or probation up to 4 years in prison. Oh, a fine, a probation, 4 years in prison. Do you think they'll try to use that? I mean, do you think they'll try to use that? They'll carry out his sentencing the day that the election, like that's whenever his sentence is supposed to start, the day of the election, or do you think they'll do it before that? you know, here's know something really screwed up. He could actually, even if he lost, he could still run again, and if he spent 4 years in prison, he could still run again, and then they wouldn't have. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Say he's too old? Ooh, ageism. Good morning, Captain Kern. Good morning. How are you doing? Good to see you. Glad you can make it. Glad you can make it. Is he still under the gag order now that the trial is done? Oh no. That I am sure goes away. I'm pretty positive that they just unleashed the beast. That's all. It is going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal. But it's not just here in the United States that they talk about it. It's also in the UK, they talk about it. Trump rages at verdict. He's found guilty in the historic case. And then, of course, we've got this right here. A hush money trial was Trump's to lose. Here's why he did. The New York jury's guilty verdict against Donald Trump may have shocked the general public, but some who watched the case closely weren't surprised. The only problem is we weren't allowed to watch the case. That's the thing. We were not allowed to see it. We were only able to hear what reporters inside were reporting. Does it mean it was true? Does it mean it was correct? Nope. With the burden of proof on prosecutors, the case was Trump's to lose, but his team's lack of counter-narrative and flawed strategy to undercut the case's weaknesses stymied the defense. Lawyers and former prosecutors told the BBC. Well, were the lawyers and prosecutors there watching this? That's what I want to know. Were the lawyers in there? Were they watching this? And before they even walked into court, one factor already had set up a tough battle. The single biggest problem with the defense had in this case was Donald Trump was their client. Really? That's it? That's the single biggest problem? Not that it was true or a lie or false or anything. It was just that Donald Trump was their client. Trump could run for president from jail. There's a guy who does it every election cycle. Only qualifications are listed in the Constitution, and there are clearly no disqualifications. A lack of narrative to convict Trump. The jury had to be certain he falsified his business records and that he did so intending to conceal or commit a second crime. The Manhattan DA's office went like this. With Trump's approval, his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, paid the adult film star Stormy Daniels, Foreskin Daniels, $130 to stay silent about alleged sexual encounter so as not. But the thing is that was already found. She was found in defamation that this never happened. In doing so, he ran afoul of election rules, prosecutors said, which amounted to election fraud, pure and simple. No. So, are you telling me that if this is the case, now, if this is the case, then all of the people at Twitter, Fox News, ABC, NBC, CBS, all of the heads of these studios, all of the people on MSNBC, the major studios, every single one of them, all the executives at Twitter, all the executives at Facebook, including Zuckerberg, should be going to prison for 4 years. They should be tried and convicted and go to prison at the minimum for 4 years for election interference. I mean, have we forgotten about the Hunter Biden laptop? Have we forgotten so soon about the Hunter Biden laptop? Has that sort of slipped everybody's mind? I've got no proof that Biden was involved in it, but all of these studio heads were. So why aren't we holding the AP accountable? Why aren't we holding BBC accountable? Why aren't we holding all of these people accountable that interfered in the election? Why aren't we going after this judge for interfering in an election or this prosecutor for interfering in an election? See, it becomes, at some point you have to say, well, where do you stop? Where do you stop going after people? Or Russiagate, exactly. At what point do we say this has to stop? That you say, you know what? This is politics and this is the way it goes and this is how it always will be. But not for them. Nope. They decided to go after him. And I would highly suggest if Trump were to win, to go after every single one of these. Get somebody for the federal government and go after every single one of these companies for election interference. Just go after every damn one of them. Tie them up with lawsuits. Use the taxpayers' money to tie them up in lawsuits where they can't even report the news without having a judge just go after them. Tell me how that would look. I mean, because I think that right there would just be phenomenal. And do it not even in an election cycle. I mean, I would start those lawsuits almost immediately. I would break every damn one of these companies that went after me. If I had the power of the United States government to do it, if I won the election, hell hath no fury like me being completely pissed off and going for every damn one of them. Shizzy, did you hear that the jury's findings were being read? Trump's campaign website went down because so many people were trying to donate to his campaign. Yeah. Trump's dirty laundry is front and center where Biden's gets protected. That is very true. China. Don't know what that means. China. Oh, yeah. China. Got it. China. Got it. I will tell you this. The jury needs to go into hiding or the term hung jury might just come through. No. Oh, what you saw and heard last night could start? No. You would have to be stupid to do that. Trump will win in a landslide until 10 p.m. when the counting gets stopped in 5 states, then 3:30 a.m. ballots. Then at 8 a.m. Biden will get 900 legitimate votes. Yeah, the 9 million legitimate votes. Hey, Shizzy, can you tell us how you feel about this? Yeah, sure. I think that it's funny. The people tweeting for MSN news companies are disgusting and gloating about this. I find it disgusting. Oh, I find it absolutely hilarious. I mean, it is so funny that they're showing their colors, and more the American people are seeing it because they're looking at this going, is this the kind of country that I want to live in? I mean, really, is this the kind of country you want to live in when people do this? Whenever you can have whenever you can have DAs go after you for something that supposedly happened somewhere else in another state that he was acquitted of, it was found to be false information, it was found not to be true, to turn around and try you in another court and try you in another court. And the thing is there's nothing stopping him from coming after him again for the same thing. Wouldn't election interference be a federal thing? So why are they trying him in a New York State as a civil? Like I said, this is setting a precedent that they don't want to go. They just went down that road thinking they're being all smart and funny. And whenever that pendulum swings, it is not going to be smart. It's not going to be funny. It's going to be brutal. That's if Republicans get a damn backbone. The problem with most Republicans are we don't want to be that kind of country. No, we're already that country, and you're losing. We are already that way, and we're losing. That was what was so different about Trump, is he wasn't going to put up with that bullshit. But here we are. Here we are with a bunch of fools acting fools and continuing to act fools, and probably will always continue to act fools forever and ever and ever. uh I mean, it's oh, that's funny. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. And open this up right here. Let's see what this is. So this is somebody that, why is it not? Oh, there we go. Here we go. So this was sent to me by a good friend, and let me share this with you guys. Here we go.
The federal prison, and that perspective doesn't always align with someone who might want to put me on television. When I was released from prison in 2009, I began to do media around white collar crime. And admittedly, I tended to tell the booker and the audience what I thought they wanted to hear. I would placate them. I was inauthentic. And now, 15 years later, and a lot of media behind me, I'm always going to tell the truth, whether you put me on television or not. To that end, I spoke with some bookers earlier today who were stunned, shocked, when I articulated that I don't think the former president who was convicted today will ever serve one day in state prison, or if convicted in federal court, federal prison. And they're like, why? This is a serious financial crime. I said, I've been doing this for 15 years, had thousands of cases. This is not a serious financial crime. Additionally, he's a first-time offender in his late 70s. And most importantly, the only thing prisons care about is security of the institution and keeping costs down. It would be a security nightmare to warehouse him. For that reason, I guarantee, I assure you, he will never serve one day in prison.
Pretty cool, huh? Republic cowards, yes. Brainwashed masses. Yes, there are protests already starting all over the country. I wasn't being funny. People are going ape shit over this. It's scary. Well, and then they're stupid for doing that. New York is a Democrat shithole and overflowing with TDS morons. That's why. Exactly, Omaha. If this was a red state, the outcome would be different. Why do you think they tried it in New York? That's the only reason why they tried it. Oh yeah, here we go. We got another one. Let me so this is one that I saw that somebody had sent to me. Also, let's pull this one up. So there is this right here. And damn it, wait, when that happens. So this guy right here.
it's a shame that America has come to this. You get a result like this from a kangaroo court, and that's exactly what's been constructed here. You think about the prosecutorial misconduct, the judicial misconduct, 53 pages of jury instructions to carefully guide the jury to a point where they have no choice but to convict. And I think the American public can see this for what it is. This is lawfare, a new term that's been coined here in the United States. It's a new political strategy. You try to damage your opponent so that you don't have to meet your opponent at the ballot box. You can defeat them in a courtroom in a jurisdiction that you choose. You see the involvement of the Biden administration. They send a top DOJ official into the courtroom to actually make the opening arguments. Yesterday, they had a political event in front of the courthouse. All the while, the Biden administration tries to say this isn't political, yet they have their own event wheeling out a celebrity to try to make a big point about the politics of all of this. And I think the American public see right through it. They can see this is nothing but a sham. These charges are made up. I'm certain they don't have any chance on appeal. But the objective has been, and I think it always has been, to keep Donald Trump off the campaign trail, to distract the public.
Yep.
And what we have right now is something that I think is going to backfire on Joe Biden dramatically, because the American public can see it for what it is. And whether you're a Democrat, an independent, or a Republican, you've got to say that abusing the judicial system in this manner is wholly un-American.
Absolutely. Oh, here's what Trump had to say. As jury deliberations stretch on, New York City kangaroo trial. It's like, do I have any pickles on my shirt? Now I want you to not look at me in that tone of voice, because if you speak to me in that tone of voice, I'm gonna say something nice up there. I'll try to keep it toned down and look solemn and like I'm really worried about this. And damn, I'll say something here.
Very good, thank you. I mean, what is very unfair is that I'm not campaigning in this room all day long, from morning to night, in the Biden witch hunt. Take a look at where the people come from.
Yep.
It's a Biden witch hunt. It's weaponization. So it seems that there are a lot of witnesses, a lot of people that they could have called that they didn't call. Now, they didn't call them, obviously, because they would have been very bad witnesses for them. Take a look at the list. Because of the gag order, I won't go down into individual names. But you have a lot of big players, very big players, that would have solved their problem or actually would have given us the win. We already have the win. If we had a fair judge, this case would have been over a long time ago. But a lot of key witnesses were not called. Look at your list. Look at the players. And you know who I'm talking about. You can take 5 or 6 of them. Why didn't they call those witnesses? They didn't call them because they would have been on our side. And it's a shame. And in particular, one witness.
Well, and Trump, yeah, you can say this, but they had every ability to call these witnesses themselves. Just so you know, they could have called those witnesses themselves.
Who's now suffering gravely because of what's happened, because of the viciousness of these thugs, the vicious people, what they've done to that person. And you know who I'm talking about. And they didn't call him as a witness. They didn't call anybody as a witness. And all these people they could have called and solved the problem. The other thing, the confusion is, nobody knows what the crime is because there's no crime. Nobody knows what the crime is. The DA didn't name the crime. They don't know what the crime is. That's what the problem is. It's a disgrace. This thing ought to be ended immediately. The judge ought to end it.
Yes,
and save
absolutely.
His reputation. Thank you very much.
Are you happy for lawyers?
That guy looks angry. That guy looks angry. I thought the same thing. I know. It's like, part of the Trump's problem is he should have got his team to call these people in. He really should have. He really should have. If he thought that they could have helped his case out, then he should have called them. He should have called them in and said, "Hey, here's what's going on. Now, here's the truth of all of the garbage that you're throwing out there. You know why they didn't call those people? Well, one might have been out of respect because they knew that it was that they respect the people enough that they're not going to drag them into court over this kind of stuff. The other thing that they might have done is said, you know, this could also backfire on us for calling these people in, because they probably don't have anything good to say about Trump. Uh, Hell, I don't know. I have no idea why they didn't do it. But so missing the key point. Prosecution used meticulous documentation to show falsified business records. But the evidence that Trump actually intended to commit or conceal that all important second crime was thin to non existent, a professor at George Washington University of Law told the Big Black. Sorry, I'm reading. I'm reading it. I haven't even showed you this. Told the Big Black. Every time I see that, that's what I think of. Trump's team did not focus on hammering this weakness through his summation. Mr. Blanche gave the jury a list of reasons for reasonable doubt. Instead, they argued that the central events of the case never happened or that the witnesses had lied. See, this is the problem with having news reporters in there and not people who would actually report the news. I mean, there's a big difference because if you read every single one of these news reporters, they're going to be saying basically the same exact thing, almost verbatim. The Cohen factor. The case is what it is. Not every lawyer, however, believed that there was much defense could do. I'm not sure they did anything wrong. Who was the chief assistant DA in the Manhattan's DA office until 2021? The case is what it is. Oh, sorry. The evidence linking Trump to the crime was strong, others said. People can get convicted on evidence a great deal less secure than Ness. Not every legal expert was convinced of the prosecution's legal prowess won the case. Well, who gives a damn? Trump mistake is doing crimey stuff in Manhattan. Really? Crimey stuff? Is that a legal term? Is that a legal term? Yeah, but Hillary didn't intend to maintain an unsecured bathroom email server. Comey didn't prosecute because he said it would interfere with the 2016 election. Right. Everyone knew what Hillary did. Everyone knew the crimes that she committed. Everyone knew that she allowed Benghazi to happen. Oh, well, we forgot about that. Oh, geez, yeah. How would it have looked if Trump went after Hillary like he said he was going to? Think about it. In 2016, after Trump won, and if he would have actually sent people to arrest Hillary Clinton for her crimes, like provable crimes, how would that have made him look? That's why I think that the Republicans have a weak backbone, a very very weak backbone, and they've shown that weak backbone over and over and over and over again. So I don't know what more that I can say about this. I mean, this is the kind of bullshit you're going to run into constantly. Constantly, you're going to run into this kind of crap. So, what do you guys think? So many government employees were used to the Obama system that they never wanted to cooperate with Trump. Yes. Get rid of all those people in the first place. Prosecute Obama, Eric Holder for Fast and Furious, as well as the Clinton and Biden crime families that the left has set a precedent and drawn lines. No, they didn't draw any lines. They destroyed them. There was no lines that they're not willing to cross. There is not enough death and destruction that they would not cause on somebody, anybody, on anybody. And that's what we have to look forward to. That and lab grown meat. Lab grown meat isn't on the store shelves yet, but some states have already banned it. That's probably a good thing. But what exactly is lab grown meat? I mean, hmm, is not currently available in any U.S. grocery stores or restaurants. If some lawmakers have it their way, it never will be. Earlier this month, both Florida and Alabama banned the sale of cultivated meat and seafood, which is grown from animal cells. One of the quickest ways that and probably a hell of a lot cheaper to grow meat is cows give birth. Chickens lay eggs, and sheep's fuck. Just saying. You can have plenty of meat, and you don't even have to grow it in a lab. Guess what? It grows naturally. You feed it, it gets bigger. You fatten it up, you delete it, you end its life, and guess what? You let its children get bigger and grow up, and then you eat them too. Sheep kicked. I don't know anything about that. I don't know. I mean, that's what waiters are for, isn't it? It's so bad. It keeps them from so the governor signed a bill prohibiting schools from buying lab-grown meat. Good, as they should. Federal lawmakers are also looking to restrict it, as they should. It's unclear how far these efforts will go. Some cultivated meat companies say they're considering legal actions, and some states, like Tennessee, shelved proposed bans after lawmakers argued they would restrict consumers' choices. Ah. Still, it's deflating end of year that started with great optimism for the cultivated meat industry. So, who are these startups? The U.S. approved the sale of lab-grown meat for the first time in June 2023, allowing two California startups, Good Meat and that's horrible, Upside Foods, to sell cultivated chicken. Two high-end restaurants briefly added the products to their menus. Some cultivated meat companies began expanding production. One of Good Meat's products went on sale at a grocery in Singapore. But before long, politicians were pumping the brakes. Lawmakers in 7 states introduced legislation that would ban this cultivated meat, according to Kim Tyrell, an associate director at the National Conference of State Legislatures. In the U.S. Senate, Democrat John Tester of Montana and Republican Mike Rounds of South Dakota introduced a bill in January to prohibit the use of lab-grown meat in lunch school programs. No, feed it to those little rotten children in the lunch school program. Like, destroy them even more. I mean, you're already chopping body parts off of them, so why not just, feed them some lab-grown meat? Add the hormones in there just directly. Hell, you can even, add your vaccinations in there just for an extra dose of, what would you call it? Extra dose of deletion. I mean, come on. Why not? Let's have some fun with it. I mean, why don't we just say that Soylent Green is not made out of seaweed like they said it was? This lab-grown meat is not made out of lab-grown meat like they said it was. It's made out of people. People, I say, people. What happens whenever you're basically splicing some sort of synthetic fiber together, and a guy cuts, one of his fingers off in a slicer. Damn it. Now we've got Bob's finger for dinner. Man, totally in Italy. It should be. It should be. Man, I will tell you that I had some of the best meals overseas. Like the American food is such garbage. And it you don't realize it until you get away from it for a while. I mean, everyone says, "Oh, English food don't have any spices or anything like that." It's like if the food's good, you don't need it. I mean, I came back from England. Came back from England after being on vacation with my wife, and there was a McDonald's right next to where I worked. And my morning ritual was sort of the same. I get like a breakfast, what like sausage McMuffin or some crap like that every damn morning. And it was one of my favorite things to get, every Friday. Like that was I would just stop in there and get it. And I, spent what 2 weeks in the UK. And whenever I got back, it was a Thursday whenever we got back, and I distinctly remember going, "Oh, I can't wait to get hold of that that sandwich." I mean, I was just craving it. I walked in there, ordered it, I sat down and eat it. It was so salty, and just just everything tasted horrible about it. The bread tasted horrible. It tasted like stale, something stale that had been, soaking up like grease, and the eggs were just what I can't even describe how horrible it was. I took 2 bites of it, spit it out, and threw it away. It tasted that bad. That was the last time I ever ate one of those. And it wasn't that it was any different than any other day. It just was. It tasted so horrible because my palate had changed. You go to some of these sandwich shops. That just in London itself. I mean, which I didn't enjoy London. I like being out in the country, but like London, for example, you go by the sandwich shop. The sandwiches are made fresh that day. The bread's made fresh that day. At the end of the day, they don't have anything sitting inside their freezers or coolers or anything like that. Big the bread's gone. The meat's gone. They give it to the homeless. I'm like, it's gone. It's so fresh. So I mean, the food's fresh every damn day. You don't get that in the US. Sorry. That Englishman. How many of you guys know what cheddar power loads of it's in loads of your baked goods made from freeze dried crickets? Ugh. Arachnids eating the bugs. The pushback is happening even though lab-grown meat and seafood are far from reaching the market in a meaningful way because they're so expensive to make. That's the other thing. It's more expensive to make. Cultivated products are grown in steel tanks using living cells from a living animal, a fertilized egg, or a storage bank. The cells are fed with special blends of water, sugar, fats, and other garbage. Once they've grown or formed into cutlets, nuggets, or other shapes, companies have been heavily focused on scaling production to bring down costs and on winning government approval to sell their products. If you need government approval to sell their products, then there's something wrong. There's something wrong there. And it's not government approval. They need the government to help fund them because the marketplace would dictate otherwise. If it was good for you, if it was good, you wouldn't need government any way, shape, or form. Now they're also trying to figure out how to respond to the state bans. Now, you know how you respond? Don't sell it there. Yeah. We're using spider legs in our processed foods, Englishmen. Crickets are a step up. Now they're also trying to Upside Foods launching a change.org petition inviting supporters to tell politicians to stop policing your plate. Well, same way as they'll stop policing, schools. It's a shame they're closing the door before we even get out of the gate. No, you're closing your own door. The company is considering its legal options. Backers of the ban say they want to protect farmers and consumers. Cultivated meat has only been around for about a decade, they say, and they're concerned about its safety, as you should be. It's made out of people. Alabamians want to know what they're eating. We have no idea what is in this stuff or how it will affect us. The sponsor of Alabama's bill wrote an email to the AP. Meat comes from livestock raised by hardworking farmers and ranchers, not from petri dish grown by scientists. But those within the cultivated meat industry say their products must meet rigorous government safety tests before going on sale. Really? Is that why it's banned in Italy? Did it meet those strict government signs there? How can a chick go from bean hatch to Tyson in 14 weeks? Hormones. Hormones. Even your organic chicken is stuffed with hormones. And they're genetically altered. The chickens that you get from stores are genetically altered. They have been. They fatten them up so quick that most of those chickens can't even walk. And I mean, they just destroy them. Want people to have freedom of choice, except in schools when they hire what kind of pew-pews they can have, which flags they can fly, and what vehicles they can drive. Exactly. Their nascent industry isn't trying to replace meat, they say, but figure out ways to feed the world's growing need for protein. You know what? Let cows breed. Why don't you feed the lab grown meat to all of the Chinese, or the Indians? I mean, push start, pull start, those Indians. Why don't you send them over there? Speaking of Indians, we have a Indian from the great place of Japan.
Oh, hello. Good morning. How are you?
Hello, Max. How are you, brother? So, what do you
Good,
think
good.
all about this lab-grown meat crap?
Lab what? Fake meat or
Yeah, it's genetically grown in petri dishes and
Oh
3D
no,
printed out to make it look like real meat.
I thought that stuff was already it came and went. Is it still being pushed and promoted?
Oh,
It's
they're trying to promote it again. Meat producers, so they made bans in Florida and Alabama,
yeah.
and it's
Oh, okay.
just like, yeah, and people are just saying, oh, they don't understand that this it costs more to make. We're trying to feed our growing population.
Yeah, I don't you know, if what costs more to make is if you're gonna take your chickens and do the pasture raising thing and everything else and be free, yeah, it costs more and people pay more and that's fine. But
Jack Butt
I don't
says Bill Gates won't give up that easy.
yeah. I mean the other stuff they were trying to do with plant-based meat substitutes. The thing was, they were using soy and a lot of preservatives and stuff and here's a test is you don't have to be certifiable gluten have an issue with gluten and stuff like that but people are kind of in between and the test is actually we don't often think about it but you eat that stuff and you feel weird you feel like shit there's stuff going on and that's with a lot of foods processed or not and I think that's a good guideline. You know what I used to do when I was a kid? I didn't realize it because I grew up thinking like cereal is a cornerstone of a good breakfast and milk. Yay, the milk.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: those two things, especially if last time I looked, I was Asian. You tend to have degrees of lactose intolerance.
Really, I didn't know that.
And every freaking morning I'd wake up and I'd be up before everyone else and eating. I remember this. What was it? Those Wheaties, those frosted Wheaties.
Oh yeah,
I love that
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
Frosted
And then
Flakes
milk.
things. Yeah.
And
God, I
so
love those things.
basically in the morning, I would have a gas bomb. I mean, I wouldn't be like, but it was like Hiroshima and Nagasaki in there almost all the time, and it never occurred to me that I shouldn't be eating that because it's so ingrained. Well, why wouldn't you? That's what you do. You're on the cross country running team, and this is you need these carbs and you need this protein. And it was a
Oh, yeah.
lot later in life I realized I shouldn't have been eating that stuff, And a lot of that gas is like it's gone.
Yep. Yeah, well, and that's the thing with these cereals.
Mhm.
It's much different. And I explained this earlier. Whenever I was over in the UK, the breakfasts that I was having, it was completely different. The food, you get used to the level of flavor that's in there,
Mhm.
like, because your palate is so destroyed from the American food that you
Yeah.
don't even realize it. The amount of preservatives just in fast food restaurants, like, and eating like healthy food, and it's no the the meat is no different. It's just whatever preservatives they're adding to it, to
Well,
keep that
also
meat fresh.
some of the meat. It's what's funny? I worked in the UK and I was on a restructuring project, and so when I was there, it was in Newbury in Berkshire, and I didn't want to stay with the Japanese guys because they were just it was. So I found a place, and it was called Chef's House, and it was a a guy who was half English and half Irish because I don't know, isn't Kellingray an Irish name? Well, his first name was
Okay.
Sean, spelled Irish. So it
Okay.
turns out this Sean guy, he grew up. His mother left his father, so he grew up, and he didn't grow up knowing how to cook. He explained, in England, you'd have peas would come out of a can and stuff like that. But then I guess he wanted to pick up a girl. And I don't know, the idea of getting a job at the Savoy, it's a hotel in London. And that's how he started. He started his work in the kitchen, you know,
Hmm.
from the bottom and then all the way up. So he's a chef. So he's trained kind of in the not just in the hotel, but probably French technique, right?
Yeah.
Everything around that. So then he comes back and he bought a house. And also, I forgot what they call it in England, but a boat, a flat boat on the canal. There's a canal
Oh,
there in
yeah.
Newbury. And
Yeah.
so he would use the house both as a staging platform because they had a place where you have a kitchen so he could cater and produce and cater, but he could also host stuff on the launch on the boat. But also he had a B&B, before Airbnb. It was
Yeah.
rooms and everything. And I was a guest there, but it was really cool because we're friends, and we on one weekend. Now his wife, he was dating this Filipino nurse in London, and he's saying, "Hey Max, can you we just got one guest, a couple coming in, so." I
Oh,
had the
hey,
keys. I got to play.
speaking
I
of
was
guests,
a hotel.
hey, Max,
Keep,
Max,
yeah.
speaking of guests, we have one right now.
Wee woo! Wee
I'm
No,
seriously considering it now.
you
I'm
should.
like, you guys, come
I was
on.
wondering what that was. I wasn't used to the intro, so I was like, "Where are we going with this?"
Oh,
Cat.
yeah.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, we have the Bobby Hill Hawaiian t-shirt, which will be my, dress up for my presidential run.
Oh, that's good.
No,
It's a step up from running a gas station, right? Yeah,
well, yeah. I
Hey,
mean,
I'd be proud of that too.
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Run anything. I mean,
Who did the gas station? Someone did it was in that mock trial. That was pretty good.
oh,
Oh,
yeah.
uh,
She was the gas
yeah.
station owner.
I did feel bad for Baker because he not only had you, but then me, and we're both like bulls in a china shop that Like, what? But this is a funny joke. Have you heard my funny joke yet before you're going to try to actually do your trial?
Yeah, he was he it's funny because he was like a frustrated father, like kind of disappointed. Yeah, okay, yeah. And so he was too fatherly. He was like, he's not going to say, "Shut the f up and answer the question," you know.
Exactly.
And
No,
that's the only way. That's the only way you would answer the question. So short of that, it's just going, yeah, and then
Well,
you
I
feel
mean,
guilty.
at least I made it Karen Patel and not, like Sajit Patel, which is I think what I got, because I was like, how to nuke Baker's channel from orbit? Do
Yeah.
I go Canadian drama teacher or do I go Karen?
That was good. It was Oh, so have you been watching? You went over the Trump verdict and everything this morning and everything. So yeah,
yeah, I
that was
did.
just nice.
I mean, that's thank you, Max, for sending that stuff over. I appreciate it.
Oh.
That was, his, I think that guy's right though, that there's not going to be a whole lot of chance of him spending a single day in prison. I just don't see it
That was
happening.
you mean Justin Paperney? Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin is a really interesting guy. He went to UCLA. He played baseball. I think it was, damn it. No, sorry. I think he's a USC graduate. USC, and he played on the baseball team. He worked at Bear Stearns, and there was a client issue, and he was convicted of, I don't know, maybe on kickback on funds or whatever.
Yeah.
And he served his time. But even when he was in prison, in federal prison for white collar crime, he was the whole point of mitigation, restitution, and everything else. And it became this thing for him. And he's a really amazing person because his advice is really consistent. Yeah.
I will say that I don't think certain parts of the very, very radical left will be able to help themselves. And President Trump, if you do not come out with a Dr. Evil style hard knock life rap battle about this, then how dare you, sir? I want a mini-me there. I want you with the do-rag, the teardrop, everything. I need a hard knock life by Trump, or someone can just AI it. But I mean,
it was where did shoes go? It's strange in the country South Korea. They've had not every single president, but recently quite a few of them, their former presidents get arrested, convicted, and they've been handed sentences like 25 years and then commuted, and it's almost like it's almost like it's become institutionalized. Like,
well, I'd rather
the previous guy.
I'd rather not go with South Korea as my, political.
America is becoming like South Korea, but in other ways, hey, the kangaroo court system, more like North Korea, best Korea.
To flee from.
Yeah, it has.
Canadians are trying. You know what? We are South Korea. Holy shit.
Korea? South Korea? You're South Korea? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
We have a crazy country to the north where people are getting ground down by a dictator, and they want desperately to flee.
Oh yeah, they have shit balloons. Oh.
Yeah, North Korea's trash rains onto South Korea, balloon by balloon. Here's what it means. Seoul, South Korea, manure, cigarette butts, scraps of cloth, waste batteries, even reportedly diapers. This week, North Korea floated hundreds of huge balloons to dump all the trash across rival South Korea, an old-fashioned Cold War-style provocation that the country rarely used in recent years. Ooh. The powerful sister of North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, I think is how you say it, confirmed Wednesday that North Korea sent balloons and attached to trash sacks. They said they were deployed to make good on our country's recent threat to scatter mounds of waste paper and filth in South Korea in response to the leafletting campaigns by South Korean activists. Experts say the balloon campaign is meant to stroke a division in South Korea over its conservative government's hardline policy on North Korea. They also say North Korea will likely launch new types of provocations in coming months to meddle in November's U.S. presidential election. Here's a look at what North Korea balloons launches were all about. 260 balloons flown from North Korea have been discovered across South Korea. No apparent danger, though. The military said initial investigations show that the trash tie of the balloons doesn't contain any dangerous substances like chemical, biological, or radioactive material. Just shit diapers. Here, have some of Grandpa's diapers. There have been no reports of damages in South Korea in 2016. North Korean balloons carrying trash, compact disc, and propaganda leaflets caused damage to cars and other property in South Korea. In 2017, South Korea found suspected North Korean balloon with leaflets again this week. No leaflets were found from the North Korean balloons. Flying balloons with propaganda leaflets and other items is one of the most common types of psychological warfare the two Koreas launched against each other during the Cold War. It's just flying balloons back at each other. I'm sorry. That's so funny. That's so Asian.
Have you ever seen? Go ahead, sorry.
Can we get
Go ahead.
99 Luft brown balloons? I'm just asking for a friend.
No,
99 poop balloons.
My best friend was he was State Department, so he is on the the Youngsang Army garrison in Seoul, Korea, right outside of Itaewon, right? He lived on there, and this is maybe in early 2000. So the North Koreans would put leaflets, propaganda leaflets, but they would be about this size, about an A4 size, and it would have just like those photos. It would be Kim Il Sung and Kim Jong Il, the photos, and the leaflets would have some stuff on the back. Now, South Koreans are prohibited by picking up those propaganda posters. You can't pick it up. But this landed on, and so, but these propaganda leaflets landed on the U.S. Army where the State Department also had housing, and so my friend is not subject to that. He's a diplomat, so he picked up a couple of them, and kind of as a joke, he had them framed. So I got a nice little mahogany frame.
Nice.
And I would too.
Okay, this is what happened though. I live in Japan, and so you've seen this in North Korean schools and also in old Japan. You would have, or if you walk into any U.S. government office, you're going to have a picture of the president and the vice president of the United States. It's kind of like that, right?
Oh, I just assumed everyone had Bobby Kennedy and Scary Jesus of the Sacred Heart video.
Okay. Here's the mistake I made. I was just thinking, oh, where am I going to hang this? And we lived in a really big expatriate condominium, so with a little lobby and everything. So I just hung it in there because we don't, The problem is, my wife brought back. There was, the mother of one of my kids' classmates came back, and she just looked at this, and her eyes went wide because it looks like we worship North Korea, and she went like, no, this is a complete misunderstanding.
Oh my God.
And then so I came home, and she was going, this is your fault. And I go, it's not my fault. It was, and so she was really upset. And so she said, you have to get rid of it. So, you know where it is right now? It's in the Japanese Pentagon, the Japanese Ministry of Defense. It's called the Boei Show, and it's in central Japan. So there's a Joho Honbu, which is Central Intelligence. So I have a kind of a relative who works there, and so I gave it to her. And so she goes, oh yeah, this is great because now it's inside their thing. And I also gave her I gave her what else did I give her? Oh, I gave her a CIA coffee mug, and I gave her a, anyways, just kind of like, they think it's great. These people who work, probably it happens all around the world, just having memorabilia on the other side. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
poor Max, you weren't even cheating in a dream and you got in trouble.
So it's
check it out.
Was kind of fun.
We got a new song.
Oh, 99 Poop Balloons. Awesome.
What a sight to behold, crazy story, no doubt. Balloons with a twist, no ordinary lift with a payload so strange. Across the border they drift, 99 poop balloons, up they go to the moon. Down they come with a splash, making South Korea laugh.
Making me laugh.
That remember, I just remember Nena, this 99 lift balloons, and we all remember that she didn't shave her armpits because she was German, you know.
Yes.
And, that just
She would just.
my,
She looked like she was arm wrestling
didn't
buckwheat.
shave her armpits that day. That is the German way. Oops.
I mean, to be fair, once you have kids, there was an entire summer I was like Christian conservative on one side and Lilith fair on the other because I just didn't, you
Couldn't
try to take
decide.
a quick, you just try to take a quick shower before anyone burns anything down, and you're like, oh, well, this is going to make tank topping an interesting subject.
Oh.
Oh, have we what other legal news is coming through? I mean,
Chad
I mean-
Daybell's guilty.
Yeah,
Huh?
Chad Daybell was found guilty. Yeah,
Right.
that happened. It was with and then of course you got the stuff that's going on with Ricada that nobody has all the full story on, but is getting people all worked up and hating on each other. So I mean,
Well,
then
I mean,
then you've got the Trump stuff. You've got and I mean, there's so many trials that are happening right now. Karen Reed. I mean, there's so many other things there. She's an
Yeah.
accident. Good morning. Good to see you, Tammy. How you doing?
let's make this a conspiracy site channel. Yeah, Chizzy. Let's make everything we come in. It has to be a conspiracy, or we don't talk about it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I do that. I mean, did you know?
Just kidding.
Well, Meme was so I laughed so hard because I had no idea that Meme dumped all of his people over on me on Friday
Mhm.
while I was driving, and
Oh, okay.
my viewers went from like I think there were 60 people to like all of a sudden it jumped up to like 400 and something. It was
oh
insane.
wow.
And I had no idea. I was like, I kept looking. I was like, oh, maybe I'm just missing something here. And then it went up.
He's going to go on at 9:00. Sorry, he's going to go on in about 21 minutes from now. He says. Yeah. But it's funny. He's I don't know what we're talking about this week. It's the end of it's the end of May. It's still May, right?
Yeah.
So
one more day,
Look,
and then we have to get out.
it's Pride Month.
Soul.
Yeah.
But what are they proud of? That's what I always wonder. What are they proud of? I mean,
Well, they got their mom to make their little leather pup suits. I mean, I don't.
Yep.
That's not.
They got a whole
pride.
month. They got a whole month. Yeah.
So did they stop calling it Gay Pride Month and now it's just Pride Month because gay is?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Because it used to be like Gay Pride because people were happy to be gay or gay to be gay, and nobody really cared.
Now it's like LGBTQ, and then there's another letter. It's an I or a 1. I don't know what that is.
So the Two-Spirit is a Canada thing. There's questioning queer, asexual, which you would think they would just want to be left alone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then they've also added in the pedophiles and think that that's
no.
Oh yeah, that's been added in there.
Okay, ways you have spent years sane, regular, normal gay men spent so many years saying this is not a kid thing. We would just like to deal with other adults. I mean, that was what they had to fight against,
Yeah, there was a line being crossed there.
And now we want, I mean, it's a weird hill to die on, but okay.
You gotta go.
I'm not going to hill tomorrow. I'm not going to die. I'm going to a mountain, the one mountain within Tokyo limits. I'm going to no,
Ooh.
Mitake. Where's Mitake? Oh wait, no. Maybe I'm
Oh
going to
yeah.
Mount Takao. I don't know. I'm going to West Tokyo tomorrow morning.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a little
Just
afraid because
all do
my friend
laundry.
is my friend is last time we went to a kind of a two kind of bigger mountains outside of Tokyo, and I had just done that photo shoot for that athletic knee supporter thing. So
Mhm.
I was my muscles were killing, and so I was a little afraid. He goes, "Join us on Saturday morning," and I said okay, and I was about to go like I wanted to make an excuse like saying, "Hey, can I take a rain check on that?" And then he goes, "You're ready?" And I thought, okay. And then he said, "Okay, meet us on the train." Then I knew where we're going, and so I realized, okay, or
So
it's not going to be so bad.
this is an ad from 1961.
Public restrooms can often be a hang.
Oh, I've seen this.
Sexual. Bobby and his friends hadn't noticed the man who had been in the restroom when they changed, and as it was late, he suggested they take the shortcut under the pier, but the others preferred to take the more traveled way home.
Oh no, Timmy, stay away from that map.
Oh, that's Bill Dollar. He was the boys basketball coach in middle school. He got charged with something bad.
Wait, they legitimately have him go through chicken wire to the dark alley under the pier for some
Didn't seem like
reason.
a good idea at all.
Boys, beware.
One never knows when the homosexual is about. He may appear normal, and it may be too late when you discover he is mentally ill.
That is
I just need this on a loop, like a
that is a great that's a great video. I think I'm gonna maybe I can put it on my Twitter account.
Oh, here I'll copy a link. I'll copy a link for it for you. That's where I got it on Twitter.
Oh, you can't play this one. This is the copyright thing. I did an excerpt from Silicon Valley, but it's made to look like an interview on Bloomberg TV. Did you ever see that one? But you can't play it because of the copyright with HBO and everything.
Oh well,
maybe you could.
I mean, I might get a copyright for this one. This next one I want to show you.
Let me see if I can.
There we go. I was telling you, Sheila, these new drugs are pretty amazing. I was feeling so ashamed of myself, watching Randy go out and exercise all the time and not eating as much. But I just don't have the same kind of willpower he has.
Which of the drugs are you on, Sharon? Ozempic, Mounjaro?
Oh no, I talked to my doctor.
Two awesome
He
dogs.
said insurance would only pay for those if I had diabetes.
But if you can't afford them, then how are you managing your weight?
Don't you know, Sheila? Now there's a whole new obesity drug for those of us who can't afford Ozempic and Mounjaro. I've controlled all my cravings to be thinner with Lizzo.
That's her? Is that her?
Yes.
Yes.
I've lowered my standards and my expectations.
In case studies, 70% of patients on Lizzo no longer care how much they weigh.
I don't give two shits.
Lizzo helps you eat everything you want and keep physical activity to a minimum. Some patients report constipation while listening to Lizzo. Stop listening to Lizzo if you experience suicidal thoughts. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis, hypothermia,
What the fucking album?
out your ears. Are you living with concerns of obesity?
Ask about the power of not giving a fuck with Lizzo.
That's crazy.
Man, that's your entire shtick.
That is her entire
The fact that
shtick.
you go at it so aggressively without cardio is amazing. But
Like I said, I'll probably get copywritten for that, but you know what? It's so worth it on a Friday.
I sent you the. No, you can't play that one. It's probably copyright. I actually don't know the rules for copyright stuff. I'm just kind of half aware. Like, oh, can you play a few notes or how many seconds? No idea.
I have no idea either.
Yeah.
Why did God invent the yeast infection?
Oh no.
So women know what it's like to live with an irritating cunt.
I've got nothing to say. I haven't even got a comeback.
I just start laughing. That's pretty hilarious, actually.
Just the look on her face was priceless.
It's like when you call your mama, or when my brother used to say, "Mama," or she said something like, "You little SOB," and I'm like, "Great at diagnosing the problem, mother, but I thought we weren't allowed to call you that."
Oh, please share. I think we need a new sound effect in a Discord server. Oh, here we go.
Evening, sir. Where are you heading this late at night?
I was on my way to a lecture about alcohol and its effects on the human body and smoking and staying out late at night.
Who gives a lecture about that this late at night?
My wife.
Evening.
I love Shizzy and I are 12.
Oh,
Where
oh
is?
my
Hold
God.
on, I'm lost here. Oh, boys, we are. Thanks, man. This is good.
What was that? Oh my gosh.
No,
Oh my.
no, I have boys fever. Okay, great. Oh, I think I sent you. Did you see? It's 30 seconds, and I don't think it's going to be a copyright strike. It's 30 seconds of the beginning of a sermon in a church that was done on Sunday, May 19th. It was in New London. It was the New London Evangelical Covenant Church.
Oh yeah.
Did you see? I sent you the video. The pastor is a man named Kevin Mellon. He's a senior pastor there. And here's the thing: the church took down their YouTube channel. They've been kind of harassed by trolls, and so it's unfortunate. But I sent you the video of the pastor doing the first 30 seconds of this sermon he gave, and let me tell you, it was. Hold on, let me do the math. I'm good at math because I'm Asian. It was 3 days after he, as a mandatory reporter, reported on certain suspected activities in Kandiyohi County. And then it was 5 days before the service of the search warrant and their arrest. And the title of the sermon was, "Will we be warned? Will we be warned? Will we warn?" And it's just, I just gave you 30 seconds of the sermon.
But the key thing I want us to ask this morning is, are you willing to take the risk and speak into someone else's life when God reveals that they're going to make a costly mistake? They're going to do something that could ruin legacy, could ruin family, could have far-reaching effects on more than just them. That's the situation we have here.
I don't know about proselytizing your own moral high ground, but I also, my guess is that this was not sermon material. This has been told to people to their faces. Now, I'm irreverent enough that I wear rubber-soled Crocs to church because the things that come out of my mouth, but I don't know what level of Croc/plastic wrap you have to wear to swing on Saturday night and go to church on Sunday morning.
Yeah. Anyways, well, this is the person that some people have said, oh, they want to punch him for what he did as a mandatory reporter, and I thought, why? And I think he's a good person. I think he was a person who really led with his conscience, and anyways, it was interesting to realize, like, he was doing a lot. Anyways, that was a
well, and as much as people say this, the as a pastor's job is to teach and preach the Bible. I also think that part of a pastor's job is to set that moral compass. I mean, does that make sense?
Sure.
To as people come in, they people come to churches because they need guidance, because they're looking for a path to redemption, or they're looking for something. They are going to church for a reason. Or maybe it's just because they want to have their whole social life be around a church, and it's a good way to network. There's multiple reasons why people go to a church, and to have a leader come up and say, well, you have to do X, Y, or Z, is, to me, it's very cultish. And but if they're doing it properly, they're giving guidance without pushing them one way or the other.
No, I don't. I think when you look in the context of things, I don't think this guy is overbearing or anything. I think, I think, understand, he's like, people think, oh, he's but it was just a very interesting situation that someone sent me the clip, and I went, because I've been looking at, before it's taken down, I'd been looking at the previous sermons, and I noticed kind of this kind of unfortunate coincidence, as the person who was arrested last week, he'd been going on the streams, and he'd been saying he wants to do a religious podcast, and then he would tell a parable, like the book of Esther, and then most recently he was talking about I forget what it was, Samuel something, where David with his army comes upon this landlord. They do the service, and the guy says, "Go to f off," and he was about to just take over that guy with his soldiers, but then the wife goes, "No, please, Lord," and there's a story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was a sermon that that Pastor Kevin Mellon provided, but the person who really didn't like his church, he said the parishioners were like, he couldn't relate to those parishioners because he was, he's a big star, and he'd said things like that, or they're all kind of backward Scandinavians and everything. He basically plagiarized. He would be taking these sermons, the pastor, who I don't think he had any love for, but he would retell those stories as if he was rather deep, profound, and spiritual.
Well, that's
I thought, how? Wow, you could have said, I go to a great church, the guy's really passionate, we learned this thing. That's cool, but YouTube hates that too, that's really taking.
And that's what John Todd did, was basically he used all of these teachings that people were all about, and used it against them, and in the most brutal way. I mean, he was making tons of money. The guy that was pushing Chick Publications, and Chick Publications was pushing him, and he's just going around the country saying, hellfire and damnation, and you need to arm up, and we need to stop all of these horrible people, and all against the gays, and all against the left, and all this kind of crap. And then turns out, after he gets arrested in South Carolina and goes into South Carolina mental institution, he ends up making his own women's underwear, and considering himself trans, and just after he graped a couple of his students in a karate class, then that's why he was in prison in the first place. And he was mad because he wanted their underwear back. Oh, I covered John Todd, like his name was John Todd or John Collins. He changed his name. He came out of California in the first place, and he made all these speaking tours talking about witchcraft and how he was a former witch. And then whenever he got sent into the mental institution, he tried suing the state of South Carolina and everybody, because they wouldn't let him practice his Wiccan rituals. Oh yeah.
Oh, for a second, I thought you were talking about Pastor Ted Haggard. I don't know if you remember him, but this is a long time ago. But
Oh,
he was
he's
a former
one-
Methodist, and
Yep.
he was New Life Church in Colorado Springs. You know where, and it was in 2006, so that was a long time ago. But it came out like he was similarly preaching like hellfire, brimstone, and hellfire.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the male prostitute that came out, and it's and remember, he's all against same-sex marriage and everything. But and also not only that, but they used crystal meth. Maybe that's a better quality, so it's okay.
Yeah, Shatner is a failed lines of women's underwear. Nobody wants to buy Shatner panties.
But it was Pastor. It was. So what's his name? Ted Arthur Haggard. He's 67 now. I don't know what he's doing now.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good clip.
Oh,
you're a wizard, Harry.
I shouldn't have told you that. Hey, that's Valhalla Wade.
Yeah.
Dentistry still a problem.
Like Alex Baldwin is in this movie.
Now, boy. Any funny business. You won't have any meals for a week.
Ow.
Oculus repairer. Hello, Laura.
Please note that the dark forest is out of bounds to everyone who does not wish to die. And
Who made this? This is really good.
I know.
This is really excellent.
Oh, Indiana Jones.
Oh, Shizzy.
Neville, I'm really, really sorry about
Shizzy, I'm sending you something.
All right.
Wait a minute.
Poor Neville.
It's a little scary sometimes.
You don't want this video. You want to actually be able to kill people.
No, we need Snape falling off of Nakatomi Tower, and I'll be good.
Yes.
Terrible.
A clock? No. I mean,
sorry.
My only comment about the churchiosity of people is that, look, as the world's worst Christian, you're not supposed to be perfect. Every single person in church is looking for redemption. The problem is look, I'm a sugar addict. Completely there. I will not joke about it. It's not like, it is what it is. But you have to work at being humble to see things that you need to work on. And the fact that kids are involved, when you have to be that parent that tells the two kids that are left behind that their parent OD'd, it really becomes a different level of stupid when people have good, a good life and want to throw it away. So I would not be able to be very kind to people.
What in the hell did you send me?
Shizzy, you don't want to show this, but it's watch it. This is great. Watch.
Oh,
play from the
you're
beginning.
so bad. You're so bad.
Remember this?
God.
This is hilarious. Play from the beginning. We said we found your perfect girl. Go play from the beginning, and volume has to go up. Yeah.
Assholes.
What's it?
All right. Here's the ideal woman according to Shizzy Whiz.
You're going to hell.
You asshole.
Straight to hell.
I said recent.
Oh no. This is a Wikipedia. Oh, this is busted.
See, look, everybody in chat knows it. Everybody in chat knows that Emma Watson's hot. Come on.
Emma Watson is like in some pictures she looks really bad these days.
Yeah.
You gotta find somebody that's skinny.
But she's
ugly.
got a
There's
pretty,
gotta be
pretty
somebody.
rock
There's
and
gotta
roll
be
body.
somebody.
But her face
No, she's got that British body.
when Josh is serious, like it's like.
Oh my God, you guys are
Do you
so
remember
bad.
this? I mean,
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah,
That's
somebody
hilarious.
saved it, and I thought, "Oh, why is it in my folder? This needs to be shared." Yeah.
Oh God, that was so funny. Oh, that's so wrong.
And this is perfect after Mo's very serious.
Oh.
I mean, I appreciate children and this this.
Oh
Now
no,
she's gonna say,
that's why I haven't spoken on it, mostly because everyone's already speaking on it. I
Mhm.
don't do drama, and God forbid I say anything to go with the 99,000, hours of footage, that these kids are going to be able to watch and, linked to for the rest of their lives.
Right.
That's the part that I think people are really when they get their hot takes. And look, it's the internet. Do what you want. I'm not going to accuse you of any moral things. I don't choose to do it. You can, and I don't think you're a bad person if you do. My calculation comes down to those kids already having, been taken out of the home and all of those things. I'm not adding one more, lump of misery to this misery shit pile.
No. Well, and I've said this before that they're I think the plan is just to divide people more than anything.
Yeah.
And the more that you can divide people, the easier they are to control. That's why we have the whole alphabet soup, pride thing now. It's not even gay pride anymore. It's an alphabet soup, because now you can spread division inside of the gay community. You can get drag queens, angry at the gays. You can get them angry at the blacks or the whites or the Hispanics or the Christian conservatives. And you got, these other people that are angry at everybody else because, well, you're supposed to be aligned with me. And they're only aligned whenever it suits their purpose, instead of saying, having a hard line of saying, this is what I believe and how I believe, and then you get assholes like this that,
Henderson, I did not set a bond in your case today.
Fulton County Magistrate Judge Holly Hughes denied 26-year-old Henderson on Saturday. Hughes gave reasons for doing it. First, that Henderson doesn't live in Georgia.
She gave an address in a different state, so I find that there is a likelihood that she may not return to court.
Second was the shocking nature of the crime.
I'm extremely concerned about the randomness of this event. There does not seem to be any reason or tie to that particular location. And I do believe that based on that alone, given the complete and utter randomness that she does pose a danger. I think we all know that this is on video. So, you clearly see what she's doing. The entire thing has been recorded. Ms. Henderson.
Yeah, that was Martin Luther King Jr.'s birth home that she torched. Now, had she not been caught on videotape, what would have happened? What would have been the outcome here in Atlanta, Georgia? What?
Oh, you would assume it was.
He would have.
They would have said, "Shizzy done it. Shizzy done it." Yeah.
No,
y'all look alike. It's okay.
They were the Opendyro brothers today.
It is all about creating division. I mean, the more that you can divide people, the like I said, easier they are to control. And you're seeing a lot of that division come into churches. And this happened back in the 70s. The same thing happened back in the 70s whenever they came in and they said, well, your church isn't diverse enough. Your school system isn't diverse enough. We have to basically stop this segregation of entities. We can't have the blacks being over here and the whites being over here. We have to cross over and put these groups together that and it and it's as you watched over the past 30, 40, 50 years of them forcing this to happen, that people have naturally just like, I don't want to be bussed halfway across, the county just to go to this school whenever all my friends are here, the people that I go to that I see every day. So why am I being shipped over here? And
Two ironic things
they've
is
rearranged
a sort of busing. I think in a lot of cafeterias in colleges and schools, a lot where you do have a kind of a high, a double-digit percentage of one colored group and another colored group, whites. There tends to be this self-segregation on ethnic and also on other things like football teams. It's going to be mixed or whatever. But it's interesting. You know where you can get stabbed or you can get killed in not every but many prisons. If if you can do a lot of things, you can trade with another race and stuff like that. But if you sit down and exchange food or sit down and eat with another race, that often violates a very hard rule and you can get retaliated against in prison. And it's not, and you don't see the prison officials going and saying, that's not right. You should be eating together. We're going to put you Aryan nations together with the Nation of Islam, under federal mandate 1560. They're not doing that.
I mean, they both subscribe to the one drop rule. So, I mean, really, they should be aligned more than you would think.
Yeah, but hey, when Max goes to prison, he's going to have a hard time. Which table am I going to sit at?
Boy, you sure do got a pretty mouth.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's probably the Hispanic guys,
Even Martin Luther King, like let's take this as a more macro view. He had some good ideas, most of which he plagiarized, but he cheated on his wife. He did terrible things, allegations, but his idea to judge people on their inner character, maybe he took it from Gandhi or Jesus, I don't know, but still, it was a good idea. People are always going to have feet of clay. They're always going to do it. I have my own issues, other people. This is about aspiring to be better than the people we are naturally doing. And unfortunately, into that comes humility. You have to be humbled. You can't think you have all the answers when you need to learn, because if you have all the answers, then you by definition do not need to learn. And I think that is the attitude that's the attitude that people are exploiting. No one likes to be told you're wrong. I mean, I'm okay with it because I know I'm not. I graduated before No Child Left Behind, so and I have Max Murray here to do my math.
Yeah. What was No Child Left Behind? I could never figure that one out.
That was George Bush. I don't remember, but it was the dumbification. My first day of presidency.
I think you're right. Either was George Bush or Clinton, but it was around that same period of time. And that did so much damage because basically it forced kids that shouldn't be passed on to the next grade because we feel bad for them because they're complete idiots and they have no
wait a minute
of learning.
You know what the interesting thing was that didn't happen I think in all three of our generations. If you were going to school, middle school or elementary school, even high school, and you knew a guy who was held back, it's because he had issues and delinquency and maybe he got dropped on his head a few times, right? That's what happens when you hold back a kid. But I didn't know this, and this happened more than a decade ago. But if you go to the private schools like Georgetown Prep, and they're first of all, getting into an Ivy League, you can get through the sports route, Okay, so you're not going to do golf. You know what is in the Ivy Leagues? It's lacrosse. It's funny because and so I didn't realize this, but entire lacrosse teams, St. John's against Georgetown and Cranbrook, entire teams, their kids they repeat a year to make the team stronger.
Mhm.
And I
Well,
know my friend, and so he's explaining, like, he was kind of proud. He goes, "Yeah, Chris got he's on the lacrosse team, and it was one of those private schools, and he ended up going to Cornell, and I think he already graduated." But I was going like, boy, in my day, I'm getting old, I guess. In my day, being held back is like a badge. It's shameful, But you got entire lacrosse teams at these,
Well,
Ivy League,
Well, and
private.
education is not fomented to the young boy mind. The sit down and lecture format works really well for girls. It works
Mhm.
really great for girls. Boys, you either have to medicate them or take them to a Montessori school, which will allow them to explore things by doing things. Boys like to be running around and doing things. And you need to have that sitting down for 8 hours being talked at is not the way boys learn. I mean,
No.
take my husband. I've married him for 30 years. He still puts his laundry on the floor.
Yeah, if you want to teach a boy math, sit down and have him start to build something out of wood or metal. And, and because then they're sitting there going, well, why do these pieces not match up? Well, you have to measure them out. So you start to learn
Well,
fractions.
the funny thing is, and in finance is this, none of the math is spectacular, and when you're even derivatives, it's not really rocket science, but some people get overwhelmed. But if you're an American, red-blooded American male, and with most men, it works. And they're going, oh, what the F is this? I'll say, if they follow football or baseball, and you have all the stats, right? They can bang, bang, bang. And you just simply port it over. The same sort of stuff. ERAs and everything in baseball, all the things on base, all the stats that you get in football, especially. And there are guys who could just roll it off. They know for players, they know for teams, they know which years. I said, now we're going to throw it off in finance. These are the metrics you're looking at.
Well, you want to know something really messed up? So we were spending time with the littles this weekend, and the oldest boy, of the littles, he's six now. He's gone all philosophical on them. Like they'll say something, and what was it that because he had to use the restroom. Of course, he's in a public restroom, so his mom took him, and she took the boy and the girl, and he's in there relieving himself as he's sitting on the toilet. He starts philosophizing to her, like talking about death. It's just like, well, some people have to die, don't they, Mom? Because if not, then we would just have too many people. Things like this, like thoughts that a 6-year-old shouldn't be having, but these are things that he's come up with on his own. Like, and she's like, you're sitting on the toilet. Why do you have to do this now?
Well, you told me not to touch it in public, so I'm thinking about death, Mother. I mean,
oh,
but
hey, meme's on already.
That.
Oh no,
is he
he's
really?
Gonna go soon.
Yeah.
But I have to, before I go on, I got to grab something to eat because it's 9:14 p.m. here, so we always have dinner late here. That's why.
Well, that's right.
So
well, Max, it was good seeing you, man.
Like,
it's good seeing you.
Actually,
Yeah,
I'd lose a lot of weight.
You
I'll
lost a lot of weight. How?
No, I was saying I'd lose a lot of weight if I lived in Japan because I don't eat after like say 8, but I'm up at 4:30 in the morning, so I'd just be fasting all day.
Well, eating at night is not really good, but I mean,
well,
I got fat.
Max never sleeps anyway. He's a
I've been
robot.
Sleeping. I've been sleeping, and tomorrow I'm going for a hike, I guess, and I hope that. I'm going. I gotta worry. I gotta worry about ticks because I don't think people. I don't think once in a while they give warnings in different parts of the states, but I think ticks are because of the diseases,
Lyme disease. And,
So usually I go out there and I do this. I usually take. It's like a doctor's trick, and they don't really share it with their patients. But before they go to a place where there's even like traveler's diarrhea, and also with ticks, it's very similar. And it's like a prophylaxis that you'll take before. For example, unless you're allergic to a penicillin, it's like 100 milligrams of doxycycline, fibromycin, just a general spectrum antibiotic. And these days, you might even throw in an ivermectin, like you get 12 milligram. You know,
I usually rub my body down and off.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I thought we were all taking ivermectin now, just like daily. Just
No, you know what?
I was
There was
just joking.
No, but there were these guys. They were saying it for cancer, and they were buying the horse paste with the apple flavor, and they were eating tubes of it every day. I'm not kidding. And one of the guys eventually, that amount, if you're doing that amount of Motrin of ibuprofen, at some
Yeah.
point you're going to get your liver, and you're going to get organ failure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you don't-
doxycycline is a fibromycin. It's general spectrum, and you're just doing it before and maybe after, and you're it takes care of most stuff, and it's not complex.
One of my cousins died from basically what was a tick. A tick had gotten him. He had gotten Lyme disease, and was in college, 19 years old. Fatal heart attack.
Oh,
from Lyme disease. It weakened his organs or some crap like that. I mean, it messed him up. And I think it was years that he was battling the Lyme disease.
You know, I went through it, and I just didn't go through it thoroughly enough. But there is, and I'll warn you, it might be conspiracy theory land, but if you look at it, there is a theory that the Lyme disease was a lab leak, and there's some, and probably you can find it with Mr. Google if they haven't
maybe
clamped down. But it is interesting because they're talking about origins and stuff. In any event, I think it's persistent, and it's not just Lyme disease, but there are other tick-borne viruses, and and
maybe that's what it was. I knew it was. It had something to do. And it basically originated from a tick. In Indiana, of all places. But also he was Filipino. He was adopted. His adopted parents were Japanese and white Anglo-Saxon American. Yeah. Well, she couldn't have any more kids. My aunt couldn't have any more kids because of her age, and he wanted to have a child. So they adopted, and it was pretty cool. He was a good kid. He was going he was going to University of Kentucky, and came home from school and went hunting, and came back, and like a couple years later he was no more. Heart failure.
Yeah, so that's why
too.
That's why I'm worried about the just going on the hike, and okay, so I'll get a what is it, a pre-fun kit. Similarly, people who do naughty things, they also, there's a similar sort of pre prophylaxis sort of thing.
I need to find that out because it is Pride Month, and I've decided to go all out this year.
Okay.
Floats, have the kids, round beads,
And so you're almost thinking like, oh, you gotta pop them before you go. And I remember Mario Puzo, the author of Godfather, right? He had another book which is really good called Fools Die, and in it there is a character, this real Lothario, and he pops antibiotics all the time, bragging that it protects him as a prophylaxis against the drip or the clap or something. Here's a problem, because people who did that, your long-term abuse of antibiotics will lead to both drug-resistant varieties of the disease, but also it will lower the individual's ability to make use of the antibiotics. And in the book, the guy dies of ultimately what Al Capone died of, tertiary syphilis. Yeah. Woo.
I mean,
the spirochets. They're
I
really
do need to
interesting. little
check Biden.
corkscrew
Have we
shaped-
done a syphilis test on him?
Who?
Biden.
On who?
Just asking for a friend. Have we done a tertiary syphilitic
Oh, I don't
test
know.
on
They
him?
probably.
Explain
Uh,
some
you.
things.
I mean,
I mean,
people have said that about. I
Didn't
think
someone
at some
say
point-
that his now wife Jill used to be their nanny or babysitter or something like that?
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
When his first wife made a swift exit out of the family with the help of
Yes.
God,
Uh-huh.
then Jill was the nanny slash babysitter for the kiddos.
Oh, it's really weird. You know, it's funny because when they had the visit here, state visit here in Japan, all the briefing sheets and everything, they were going, Dr. Joe Biden, Dr. Joe Biden. Then I click on the TV and I see Whoopi Goldberg go, "You're not going to be a great Surgeon General, Dr. Biden." And someone points out, she's not a real doctor. It's like her PhD is in education. Oh, wow.
Math education, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
Her PhD is in math or some crap like that. It's
Jesus,
like,
man.
really? Yeah, it's like really ridiculous. All right,
I
Max,
mean,
you have a good one, brother,
okay,
and
take care. Okay.
say hi to me.
Yes. Can we make Dr. Jill Biden actually physically in charge of the View's health? I'm just asking for them to have her as the Surgeon General.
Well, you know, they made Joe Biden an honorary graduate or gave him some sort of degree from Morehouse because he came and spoke at Morehouse. Oh, serious. That's where he did his commencement speech because there's nothing that says like I'm gonna like cater to the black vote by showing up at Morehouse and talk about how much of a racist Donald Trump is.
It is the amount of pandering and absolute disingenuousness, I think, we have gone off parody farcical road. I mean, this is beyond Spinal Tap. We just turned it up to 11 on, election years. If someone, again, most people would not like to be pandered to, like, hello, fellow breast havers. Look down at chest, do still have. Have you thought about the fact that we only want you to be a voting vagina? I mean, lady bits do not, I don't care. I want to know your point. I want to understand your platform. I want to understand what it is that you're going to do with the power that I entrust into you. Not, hey, you're a lady, so have you thought about the lady points of this election? No, I haven't. I've thought about the human points and the, how this country is going to be for my sons and daughters. So, no.
It's so.
I mean, I just need one college to sign me up so I can have an honorary degree before I die.
This is so bad. This is so bad. I've got to show it though.
Aww.
What'd you say? Her name is Faith.
I found a white girl.
Well, I mean,
speaking of finding a white girl. Ballstorm, what's up, brother?
Yeah, I found me a good, healthy white girl.
Man. Sorry. We met. Fuck. Man.
that diagram is inaccurate. It's much crazier than that.
Yeah, because we will not only bring up the stuff that that you allegedly did in our dreams,
Yep.
but also remember when we were first dating and she's like, I'm not like other girls. I'm not going to hold things, against you for years. And then she brings out, kathunk, the Bible of your transgressions. And
The
she's
great
like,
lie.
"Mm,
The great lie. Oh, I'm not that kind of girl. I'll never bring up that. I don't do that.
And this is us whenever we're in the mood, and they're not.
can confirm."
Like, hey,
But she hasn't bitten his face off yet. So yeah. Men, just a simple how-to. Aggravation and arousal do start with the same word, but are not the same thing.
No,
So
they are not.
If you're not at least attempting to pet your woman every day, something's wrong. Something's wrong.
well,
Because
yeah.
they will get mad that you aggravate them, but if you don't, then they get mad when you're not. They go, "Oh, am I not attractive anymore? Are you
Oh, well,
are you thinking
yes.
about somebody else? Are you sleeping with somebody else?" I mean,
Oh my God, there was something on
that's how it goes.
TikTok Twitter, where this guy was gonna do a prank, like this woman, tried to hit on me at the gas station, and he's like, "Babe," and then I said, "I'm sorry, I'm married." And the wife goes like, "Oh, you're sorry. You're sorry you're married. Did you tell her about your sleep apnea? Did you tell her that you sound like this?" I mean, and she's like, "Did you tell her that you can't remember where you put things down from 1 second? Oh no, I'm sorry to inconvenience you for being married."
Were
And
they
he's
an old
like,
Jewish
"Man,
couple? I mean, who are these people?
no." She did have a slight Bronx or New York accent, but now every woman who's just bitchy just has one of those in my head canon. What in the Christmas ornament are we doing here?
Oh, you hadn't seen this? This is
If this
awesome.
isn't a Terry's chocolate orange, then I don't really think we have
This
references.
is awesome.
Rose, orange.
Orange.
Yes. Yeah.
That's man.
Hey, that's the only way we learn. The hard way.
True.
I've been sitting in my car. I'm crazy because I'm crying. I've been sitting in my car for like
You are
25
crazy.
minutes. I created a barrier because there's so many cicadas right now, and I just like don't want to leave my car, but I have to get to my house. I have an umbrella, so I'm gonna like use that too. I
You don't want
like,
me
I feel
peed
like an
on.
umbrella's not enough, like like it doesn't protect everything.
A plastic
and I'm just,
bag
like,
would be more effective.
No hole cut
Like,
in.
I don't think people understand. Like, it's not just a fear; it's like an actual phobia. I'm like actually genuinely scared.
Have you heard of
And
immersion
no one's awake in
therapy?
my house, so I'm scared that our front door is like locked, which means that I have to like spend an extra 10 seconds like unlocking the door. Everything's just like everything's just like really freaking me out. I'm just scared. I like hate this.
Just let them make
And
it
it's, like,
rain,
not
honey.
funny,
Just let
like,
them make
this
it
is a
rain.
serious phobia.
Have
Like, I'm
you heard
terrified right
any of R.
now.
Kelly's
I'm
songs?
stupid. What the
Just
fuck
play
am I
one of
doing?
them.
I'm moving.
I believe
I'm
I can
definitely
fly.
moving. I'm going to
Just
a different
run
country.
with
This
it.
is fucking ridiculous.
She's so upset. Jeez.
Well, this is the generation that's going to storm Normandy to get TikTok back. So
For crying out loud. I mean, when I grew up as a kid, we would get out, play in the mud, get into all kinds of things and drink out of garden hoses and everything else. And we didn't have these problems.
no, I mean, look, when you have your youngest, most feral lick Walmart carts, you're pretty much immune to everything.
That's a step too far.
Well, I mean, I tried to explain that to him, but what in the name of Jesus just I don't know
I'm
if
in
I've never
love.
been more aroused or scared.
I'm in love.
I'm in love. I'm just
Well, for June, if this chick's well, okay, but she's eating that steak because it's not paid for by her.
that's fine.
I think she's related to Dictionary Diva.
It's
Like, don't get
this
me
one's related to
where's
John
the
Wick.
phone?
This is John Wick's daughter.
You have 3 dogs and someone takes away 2 of them. Now how many do you have?
3.
No, okay, you have 3 dogs and someone forcibly takes away 2 of them. Now how many do you have?
3 and a dead body.
3 and a dead body.
Sounds kinda, I mean,
Yes. I was like,
yes.
Yes.
hey, that maths. I've done the carrying over of the one, and yes, that maths.
Jimmy
Squid,
Neutron granddaddy.
that's because they lie to us.
You guys look like a before and after for a product that doesn't work.
Oh, we just like before and before?
For real? What does ABD stand for? A dose of diabetes?
Okay. I wasn't ready for any of this.
Yeah. You guys are wearing sweatpants and sweat skin. Have you guys just completely given up on is that it?
Maybe Doughboy, not me. I'm out here.
Doughboy? Wait, what?
His name is Doughboy.
Doughboy?
Yeah. I spell it D-O-B-O-Y.
You think she's
D-O-B-O-Y. Yeah, I had a feeling you'd misspell it. You guys are 2 of my favorites. 2 Chins and ASAP Rocky Road.
Wow. You didn't say this was coming today. Jimmy Neutron.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
You gotta watch out for those of us who like Granddad's sweater. Like, we will pop some tags in the Goodwill and then come and tell you the truth about yourself.
Oh God. Yes. Oh, this is one I told yesterday. This is one I told yesterday.
What is the difference between a vitamin and a hormone?
Do you know what the difference between a vitamin and a hormone is?
Well, a vitamin has use and a hormone doesn't
You got
remember.
that one. You can't make a vitamin.
What was the old joke? You can lead a horticulture, but you can't make her think.
Here's another one.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. How about a vacuum cleaner for your wife? It's a deal.
To be fair, Mr. Mo tried that with the the Kirby vacuum cleaner guy.
Yes.
His parole officer said that he had to give me back. I'm just saying, if you go door to door and you're selling vacuums and you would like to come into my house, I would like you to not look like Joe Dirte's, more Hillchuck, Tupac wannabe friend. I'm like, does your probation officer know where you are right now?
You're welcome.
This acid is really messing with me.
Excuse me?
I looked down and my hands were knives.
Your hands are knives?
Yeah.
Can you put the knives down?
No, they're my hands.
All right. Where are you?
I don't want knife hands. I can't pet my cat. I can't high five anything.
It's okay, sir. Let's work this out.
What am I going to do? Be a chef? Just chop, chop, chop my whole life. Nothing but chopping. No, chop that.
How did you call 911?
I called on my phone.
And how did you dial the number?
With my fingers.
Okay. Where are your fingers?
On my hands. Oh, God, they're back. Oh, thank you. Oh, my God, look at them. I love these hands. What's your name? Is it Sharon?
No.
Oh, Sharon, you're an angel.
I am not.
That's what an angel would say. Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome.
No, Daisy. He's gonna be
Surprised he
like,
didn't
Mom,
ask her out.
I met this really cute chick called Sharon, and you're gonna love her. I mean, she's kind and she's an angel. I just need to find out if the restraining order, will get appealed.
Well, I did manage to get this one right here. You saw his speech, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh God.
this is in front of
Oh no, I haven't seen this.
Oh, this is like unbelievable. You will not believe the words that come out of his mouth.
First of all, everyone, please
used
put
to
on your masks and keep your distance.
memorize.
Some of us are really weak and fragile, and I don't know why they made this podium so high. I told them I'm coming straight from the bathhouse and didn't have my platform shoes with me. I'm speaking to you today because I'm a scared little man, a washed-up actor with lots of skeletons in my closet. People like me need Joe Biden in power, not because he's any good, but because he enjoys the same sick perversions we do. Lots of dipshits think I'm smart because, I used to be able to memorize lines, but cock my head to the side and squid with a New York accent. In reality, I'm just a mook. M-O-O-K mook. I'll be honest, Donald Trump scares the living shit out of me. I've always been jealous of him. He's a real man and true New Yorker. He walked the walk, talked the talk, and like Sinatra, he did it his way. I, on the other hand, only pretend to be tough and powerful on a movie set. If Donald Trump was in front of me right now, I'd punch myself right in the face, get down on my hands and knees and beg to blow him. If Trump gets reelected, sickos like me will be permanently banned from the circle of trust. I'll be stopped pumping blue milk from Mark Hamill's tits in a gay porn parody of Meet the Parents. I'm begging you, vote for Joe Biden so I don't shrivel up and die.
My good imagination. I'm gonna have to go bleach my brain before I go on. This is terrible.
I'm so glad I didn't buy that half gallon of blue milk now after hearing that.
Oh God, yes. Just sorry.
I mean, remember when adult pretenders would just act, and we didn't even know that Rock Hudson was gay until he had full blown AIDS? Do we remember a time where they would just pretend and not tell us about our lives?
Hell, we didn't even care that Charles Nelson Riley was gay, but nobody addressed it.
Yeah, I mean, for the love of God, can we just go back to letting adult pretenders pretend and then not listening to them for anything else?
That's all we wanted to do. Pretend. It was make believe. The thought of an actor having some sort of political stance really didn't bother us. I mean, okay, so you have a political stance, but they never the people that would have a political stance never were trying to make a political stance. It's just like, I trust that this is what I believe, but never showed like disdain or hatred towards another person. They were just like,
Yeah.
I believe in the sky is blue and cats are wonderful. And my opponent here thinks the sky is blue and thinks that dogs are wonderful. And that was sort of the whole basis of actors in that sense. They got along because they're doing the same thing, they're acting the same way, they're working on doing the same roles. They have to work together in a professional atmosphere. But it's gotten so polarizing that oh, you're conservative, or you better not tell people you're conservative or you're not going to have a job.
Right.
I mean, when the guy that got kicked out of Mumford and Sons can run rings around Nancy Pelosi, which, I mean, who among Jim Jones hasn't? But
Yeah. Well, and there's quite a few that have run circles around Kamala Harris.
well, I mean, you have to have some kind of platform when you're a weebles wobbles, but they don't fall down.
I'm sorry, that's so bad. That's so bad. I'm so bad. I'm sorry, I couldn't.
That's
help it.
wrong. That's ignorant. Yeah.
She is a strong Caucasian woman.
Oh well, oh man, that's what it was. Oh, good Lord Almighty, because I was trying to remember what the hell this one particular thing that I saw was, and I was like, why is this in my feed? And now I remember why it's there. Because I had looked at it and I was like, there's a reason why this is here, and I can't remember exactly why I had downloaded it. Let me find it, because this is insane. Whenever I saw it, I was like, okay, I've got to show
Hey,
this.
Shizzy, don't show your personal collection on here. We've talked about this.
Yeah, puppets.
It's not
puppet shows are
personal.
only for, at home.
Right.
It's not
You keep
personal.
those to yourself, Shizzy.
Although,
not
can we get
personal.
another Team America, please? I know that,
Oh, yes.
Matt and Trey Parker said they would never work with puppets again, but
damn.
but I think
This right
SAG
here.
and
It was this one right here.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. I'd like to say, as a progressive, proud member of this body for the last 12 years, I'm done. I'm done with us protecting people who would buy and abuse our children. I'm done. I don't want to send more black and brown men to prison. I don't want more people in prison, but I don't want people buying girls. I don't want people buying little girls anymore. And I'm tired of saying
I guess
it's
you
okay,
boys are just screwed.
and that we have to protect the men who do it. As a mental health professional and as a social worker, I can tell you I've spent my entire career working with people who have been wounded. I'm not going to say beyond repair, but they have been wounded to their core by the abuse that's been heaped on them, oftentimes by those that they love and look to protect them. And if their parents won't do it, then by God, we should. Again, I am not arguing that we open the gates to flood our prisons with people, but I am arguing that we have a moral responsibility to say enough. Enough. We have given away enough on this area, and we've got to move back into the center, or we all look like fools and laughing stocks. And what do we stand for? I ask all of you to watch the documentary that Senator Grove was in, Senator from Kern County was just in, that talked about this very place in Sacramento where girls are being bought and sold. Men are being given a slap in the hand or a couple days, and then they're back out again, and they do
California.
the same thing. They get caught over and over and over again, and somehow that's okay. It's not okay. It is not okay anymore. And no more am I watching. Like I said, I'm leaving, but the rest of you who are going to be here for a while, let's get our stuff together and really start focusing on some of the important things. We talk about learning and we talk about being safe. This is like at the core of it. And a lot of these kids can be throwaway kids. They're poor kids. They're kids of color. But they shouldn't have to live a life determined by what happens to them by others at a very young age, and by have the Democratic Party of California say it's okay. It's not okay. And I'm not doing it anymore, and I hope none of you do too. We have to be able to draw a line, and for me,
I pulled this too.
I'm drawing a line. I urge your I vote.
Yeah.
God bless her.
Yeah.
God bless her for
The
and
problem
that,
is that every other Democrat there heard circus music and Anthony Weiner doing, the unicorn dance. That's the problem.
Yes.
You cannot have objective morality and then tell some of your constituents that, love isn't love if you try to seduce a 2-year-old. I mean, it goes that the math doesn't compute. So you either have to say, well, you have to go full, Simone de Beauvoir and Foucault and say, look, the age of consent really should be 12 and a half. I mean, who among us hasn't gotten caught in Liberia, propositioning young boys? Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. All of Foucault.
Yeah. That's the and knowing that you've got Pride Month coming up next month.
Yeah.
That these are the I guess there's no better way to put it, the sickos that are co-opting a group of people that just want to be left the hell alone. Like they're they're absolutely happy saying, "Hey, I'm here with my partner, my lover, the person that it doesn't appeal to me because it's not my thing, but it's the same way that my sexual life doesn't appeal to them. That's fine. We don't have to have the same sex life. That would be rather boring, I guess. I mean, especially if it's not doing anything for you, you go do your thing, but leave kids out of it." And I think
Yeah.
that the gay community is going to, if they're smart, they're going to fight back on this really hard of being having to be co-opt into this, because it used to be about gay rights or queer rights. They were happy saying, "I'm queer, I'm odd, I'm
Yeah.
different, I'm not the same as everybody else, and I've got no problem with that." But it's gotten to the point where it's like, being odd and queer doesn't mean that you damage children. That you think it's okay to have men shaking their junk in front of children, or women shaking their junk in front of children. That
Yeah.
that's where it gets to the point where you've got teachers coming out of the woodwork, having sex with their students. Yeah, and it's fun to sit there and say, "Yeah, well, where were those teachers whenever I was a student?" But you know how quick that can ruin a child's perception of what a
Yeah.
healthy relationship is.
It regardless of female or male, it ruins your sense of boundaries, what is acceptable in a relationship, what power dynamics. It is so gross. I don't get it. And I swear to goodness, I'm going to start selling my services as a TED talk for like why you do not want to mess with a honey badger mom, because watch all three of my girls get through college and high school, without a baby mama. And then my youngest, most feral, comes to me with Mary Kay Letourneau, who's pregnant with triplets. Y'all, the amount of killdozering, like, I will it's gross, it's wrong, it's abuse. It's abuse. And if it was happening to a girl the same way that it would happen to a boy, we'd all get Lord Chippy out. Well, these
Mhm.
are gross, disgusting abusers. And the fact that I have to daily edit, this teacher had a relationship with her student. No, this teacher abused her student. There, I edit it for you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
Well, and
Well-
I've had to go and edit all kinds of stuff, like, so. This is something out of the BBC that I saw this morning. I was, and because you bring a perfect point here. So I guess there's some geek girl, the teen drama tackling neurodiversity.
What?
Oh dear God!
What is that?
This is a new term.
What term have we come up with now?
Oh yeah, no,
I can't keep up.
It is a new term called neurodiversity. Do you know what neurodiversity is? Get this.
Having ADHD, having autism, having Asperger's, or simply being stupid, I'm guessed.
Yes, it's exactly what it is. Instead of it, now you fall under one umbrella. Oh, you're ADD. Whenever I was a kid, that was not a diagnosis. You were just a damn R.
Yeah. 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 I was there. I was there.
Oh, you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
You
Had to
rode
wear a helmet to school.
Yeah, you rode the small school
I
bus.
love my helmet. Leave me alone.
I loved my helmet too.
You're
Damn
like,
it! I
my
rode.
mom says that it made the windows taste like raspberries, and I said yes.
I rode the small school bus. Okay, but that's also because we lived on a farm. So
Well,
and
the same. But
there wasn't a whole lot of kids that came out of being around the farm and stuff like that. But it's a long damn drive for a single vehicle household, because back in the 70s, having two vehicles, yeah, we got the farm truck. And he's still too young. His feet don't quite reach the pedals, so we can't let him drive himself to school. Give him about 5 years, and then we will.
Right.
He can drive the tractor to work. He drive the tractor to school. I mean, that wasn't uncommon for kids to drive a tractor to school. My mother rode it on the back of a donkey to the bus stop, which was about 4 or 5 miles away. So she rode a donkey to get to the bus stop and then took the bus into school.
When she
I mean,
lived
that's-
in Juarez, that makes a lot of sense now about you.
No, Indiana. She lived in Indiana. But that, and then my grandfather, he got his business degree, and you know how he paid for his business degree? He had two choices. He could
If
either
you also
teach.
say donkey rides, I am
I was
going
supposed to
to
say he
not be
sold
able
the
to-
donkey.
No, it was his donkey.
That's how he got to
It's
work.
my ass. I can do what I want with
that actually is how he got to work, because he had a choice of either becoming a teacher or driving a school bus for the school. So he ended up driving the school bus, and they basically gave him scholarship to go to school, and he got a degree in business. You know, and we're talking, you know, in the 40s, late 40s, early 50s. Yeah, that was my grandfather.
And Baker, I see you in the chat. I've told you
Yes.
many
So,
times,
Baker.
stop using the metric system whenever you're talking about me, okay?
Yes. It's not 6 millimeters.
You enjoyed it. Just just remember me petting you on the head. It's okay.
You kept saying, "It's okay. This is okay," and your hair smells so pretty.
This is fine. This is fine.
It's
all
okay.
okay.
You're good.
Don't
It's
don't
all
ask
right.
what he did with Vegas Rick.
Oh God, it had to be insane.
They have mornings on the porch alone. I'm just saying.
Well, I saw some of his mornings. It was a little weird. Seeing Baker kicking back somewhere in Tennessee without his waders on. Come on.
That's why
tell me.
Hey, that's why I waited till at least noon to go over there. I was like, y'all get your stuff out of the way before I come over, okay?
He said it tasted like pudding pops.
It tasted
Well,
like the pudding pop.
On that note, I'm going to drop out of here so I can get ready for my show.
Well, you have a
And
wonderful.
Next
I'll
week,
probably-
I will be starting at 8.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Really?
Yeah,
Excellent.
just for summer, and I'm going to see if I can work that into my regular time slot so that, you know, people can watch trials and stuff. But
That'll be good.
definitely
That'd be
going to
good.
try it.
Yeah, because I've been thinking I'm going to probably be keeping the same time of getting up and doing a stream, but then I'm going to cut out early to go and get more exercise before
Don't
I
lie.
have to.
Don't
go
lie.
serious, man. I tried to put on a damn pair of swim trunks like some that I wore like last year,
Yeah.
and I looked like a, you know. Let's put it this way: the junk was very
Lizzie,
well
have
pronounced.
you tried Lizzo?
Good job, fatty.
Yeah, I have not tried Lizzo, but I guess I should.
Hey, Zach, will you put Mo's link in the chat, please? Because I can't get to it.
Thank you, guys, and I will see you in a couple minutes. I
Yes.
have all of the stories, and then I will be sending you guys to Baker. I apparently have to go help my middle daughter open a checking account.
Nice.
The joys of parenthood.
Oh, lovely. That sounds like fun.
And then you get to teach her how to balance a checkbook.
Oh well, I don't know how to do that. I mean, I'm from the folks that like we used to float checks. Now this was totally
Oh my
illegal, and you're
God.
not supposed to do it. But
Yeah, now
Well-
they have that new check system. It's supposed to go through in like, you know, was it 24 or 48 hours or something? But that's a lie too.
But we
Yeah.
had that down to a science. I mean, we knew that all these would not deposit your check until like Wednesday. It is Monday now. And if your payday is on Tuesday, you can comfortably float that check.
Hey, I've been there. I've floated quite a few checks, but it was all good. It was all good.
Squid Pro, you need to be fat shamed. You don't have to be fat shamed. Just look at me. That's shameful enough.
We don't. Hey, this is the wrong channel. We don't do that here.
No,
I mean,
just
there's
like-
a reason I don't put myself walking on my walking pad, you know,
Uh-huh.
on stream.
There's a reason why I don't take off my shirt on stream. Well, it might be what's
What?
tattooed on my
That's a
chest.
lie. That is a downright lie. And you know it.
I know it
Bye,
is.
guys. Shizzy's
Bye,
taking his shirt
Mo.
off. I'm
Thanks.
leaving. See ya.
Oh, come on, Mo. You know you want some of this.
I do, but I like the OnlyFans stuff. Add feet there, and I'm there. You know me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you want to see those
Shizzy
toes.
wrestling in Jello.
Making the
Ew.
toes curl. Making the toes curl.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Mo.
Oh, that's so bad.
Hey, yeah,
That's so
yeah.
bad.
We don't fat shame here. You saw what happened in Alaska. That did that.
Yeah, you saw what happened in Alaska for fashion. Yeah, that didn't work out well. Oh my god, that's that. I will say that it is the craziest craziest story, and the amount of craziness that's going on with all of that. It's just it's drama. It is, if you guys haven't been around long enough, it is YouTube drama that we don't do here.
Yeah. Well, it's. I don't like to be involved in drama, but
Love to
I'll
see
watch
it.
it. I'll
yeah.
watch it. And I mean, as far as that whole thing goes, I know everybody's beat it to death, and it's going to be polarizing on one side or the other. You either like him or you hate him, and you're glad all this stuff's happened. But the fact of the matter is that it's his deal.
Yeah.
It's his private deal for him and his family to deal with. And it doesn't affect my life one way or the other.
Nope. None at all.
That's how I feel about it.
You're a better man than I. Or you already knew that.
Yeah. What is it?
Oh.
What's the three things? Unless it affects my food, my finance, or the other F word, I don't care.
Fun time.
Yes, fun time. Yeah, food, finance, or fun time. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it matters not. We don't like drama or being involved in it. But let's talk about it anyway. Yeah. Yeah. Well, because it doesn't affect me one way or the other.
No.
Like, there's too many people that are getting upset with each other. And I think that right there is it's no different than what we saw with Fair and Balanced, that we saw with what was her name? Legal Stick or something, whatever her name
Legal
was.
Bites?
The blonde. Oh yeah,
Legal Bites. Legal Bites. The whole thing with DUI guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's petty, it's bull stuff. There's no need, and getting involved in that, or having this where lawsuit civil war. Exactly. That is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's snake bites. Yeah.
Snake bites.
God. I mean, it was all petty bull stuff. That's all it was. It was just petty, back and forth, little bickering back and forth. And here's something that impressed me out of a lot of that stuff, was the fact that Nick was just like, this is why I don't want to be part of this community. I don't want to have a community. I want to do my thing. I admired him for
that. I admired him for that. I was like, dead on.
Yeah. And I don't think it changed. I don't think his attitude changed for it. He just got himself into fecal bites. That's about right. He just got himself into a position where he started doing his own thing, maybe a little bit too much, and to his detriment.
Yeah.
And
like I said, that's his business.
Yeah. That's, I mean, I feel for the kids, because they're the ones that are going to suffer.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, after all is said and done, no matter how it works out, his kids are going to be the one that suffer from all this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to go outside and lift weights, but Mo is on. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing. I'll probably be cutting my shows shorter in the morning. So I can get little more exercise, trying to drop a few pounds before I do another dive.
Right. Yeah, I got you.
Fitting into that wetsuit can be a real, pain in the butt.
If you're going skinny dipping, you don't need to worry about that kind of stuff,
Well, if I'm going in warm enough water, then I don't have to worry about a wetsuit either.
Yeah.
But But still, that doesn't change the fact that you still have to wear some swim shorts, swim trunks, and mine don't fit.
Be afraid of fish and nibble it off, you know?
Yeah, well, maybe if you can find it. I know I hadn't seen it in a while.
Asked my wife where to go. She said she didn't know either.
She hadn't seen it either.
She ain't seen it in years.
Oh. So bad. Oh my god. Oh, I do have a good one here. It is where did it go? I showed this one yesterday and it still makes me laugh every single time that I see it.
All right.
Oh, okay. Here we go. This will be the best right here.
I lost my glasses again.
Yuck! What the hell are you doing, Velma?
I'm looking for my glasses.
You could at least have the decency to put an arch in that shit.
Huh? Oh my god, gross. What is that?
That's Velma's undesirable cringe body having ass.
Ain't no way. I thought it was some sort of humanoid deformed dying rat bear giving birth. At least put an arch in that Velma.
Facts! That's what I'm saying. I knew I wasn't tripping.
She's built like a wounded camel fetus.
Bitch built like a wilted crescent moon that's given up on the night sky.
Built like a sagging bridge in a children's drawing.
This is the type of shit. This is me off. It is face down ass, not ass face up.
Velma, look. You see how I'm busting it open?
God damn!
You gotta really lean into it and let the arch take over. Almost turn your body into a question mark. The top of your ass damn near should touch the back of your head. A won't last 2 strokes in this.
I'm gonna put my whole head inside that tonight.
What?
Wow. Wow.
That's so bad.
Wow. That's pretty bad.
That is pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, that just ruined it. Scooby snacks for everybody, didn't I?
Yeah. Just remember, put an arch in it. Just put an arch in it.
Just put an arch in it. And you've seen the one with Judge Simpson, right?
The one with Judge Simpson. Probably.
The one that basically he shut down his YouTube channel over.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen it. I've seen so much I can't. Oh, yes. I watched this yesterday. That is hilarious.
You stationary? I'm pulling in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
All right. What are we doing?
Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting an adjournment in this matter, up possibly 2 to 4 weeks if the court would allow.
Okay. So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended,
That is correct, Your Honor.
and he was just driving, and he didn't have a license.
The look on his face.
Is with the charges, Your Honor, yes.
No, I'm looking at his
Yes.
record. He doesn't have a license. He's suspended and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Judge is just like, can you believe this stupid?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
1 minute, Mr. Harris.
At this moment, he knew he screwed up.
He's listening to the music too. That's what's funny.
I don't even know why he would do that. So defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
There you go. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Harris, I'll be giving you a call.
Okay.
Now, a couple things about this. Number one, he was sitting there thinking to himself, man, I'm supposed to go pick up my prescriptions. I'm supposed to go rotate the tires. I'm supposed to do all this stuff. All that stuff was running through his head. Now he's like, I got to go to jail. The other thing is that these judges in these matters, they don't really get the case ahead of time. It's just kind of put in front of them and they look at it, go, okay, these are the charges, blah, 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 blah. So it's why the judge wasn't early on going, sir, you have a suspended license. Why are you driving?
Yeah. Yeah, he hadn't even seen the case. He's filling out the paperwork on the last one.
Yep.
He's flipping the page over. This guy's pulling in. He's going, okay, so what is he doing? You can't be driving while you're doing this because I need your full focus. So It's like, I'm just pulling in here, Judge. Let me park and I'll be focused. And so he looks at the paperwork and he's going, okay,
wait a minute.
Is this a joke or something? He's looking at the guy, he's looking at the paperwork, and he was like, he's driving without a license. And she was like, yes, those are the charges. He goes, no, I just saw him driving without a license.
Or he was like, no, that's what it says right here. He got basically a ticket or whatever for driving on a suspended license. And here he is driving.
Yes. And the judge, as that guy is sitting there going, like, can I say something? The judge he's actually signing the order. He's filling out all the documentation he needs to fill out the bench warrant, and he's filling all of that stuff out. And that's why he's looking down, is because he's filling it out. Is just like, and the whole time he's just got to be thinking, I cannot believe this guy just showed up to court driving a car on a suspended license. And the tickets for a suspended license. I mean, how stupid does this guy have to be? He's just filling out the paperwork, and he's also notating that the guy was driving on a suspended license while in court.
Yeah.
And all he did was, after he dotted, he was like, okay, here's what's going to happen. Boom. See you bye.
So stupid. Oh, so stupid.
All these people, gotta love them. But it is, it's that time. It is that time for me to shut this bad boy down. You know what I've got for you guys? I've got a little bit different outro. We'll see how it goes. I think I have it here. Where did I put it? No, maybe no. It moved. It moved on me. Where did it go? I don't know where it went. I am so stupid. Oh well.
I'm not driving. I'm traveling.
Oh. You're traveling. This is what happens.
FBI, open
up! Right there. This is what happened. Oh,
hey, Shizzy, fun plug real quick tonight. FNL over on the Experts channel.
Yes,
no telling what's going to happen, folks. You got to tune in to find out.
You got to tune into FNL tonight. FNL over on the Experts tonight. I'm going to be sending you guys over to Mo after Mo is done perverting your minds even further. She's going to send you guys over to Baker to be completely and irreversibly perverted.
Yes.
And you never know where I'm going to end up. I may just end up showing up naked somewhere. You never know. But with that,
now I gotta call somebody to come get me because my car is turned into a spaceship and I don't know how to fly it. I'm not an astronaut.